Thanks for tapping in with 95 South TV, hosted by Icon Ian King J, bringing you the best news and media through the efforts of the community. We interview nonprofit organizations, business owners, school teachers, spiritual leaders, and anybody who has an impact in the community that has a remarkable backstory. These professionals that we bring on this show has a story that will wow you, that will knock your socks off. And with that being said, we want you to tune in, keep it locked. We want you to like, share, follow, and subscribe. Be a dedicated listener. Come in, and if you require to do an interview, you can definitely reach out to us at 95southpodcast@gmail.com.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon. And once again, we here on 95 South TV. You know what I'm saying? With great people and great opportunities and great discussions. First and foremost, I want to thank God for this opportunity because without him, there would be no us to be able to do this. Right now, my
Hey,
partner, he's running a little bit behind, but we're gonna keep it rocking and rolling. So we got a special guest today. This young man got a story to tell about some injustice that happened to him, and we want to be able to put the story out. My man ATP Richie, what's going on, fam?
What's up, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, sir. So we're gonna jump right into it because I know we only got a short time to really get it out there. So first and foremost, man, just kind of tell people first where are you from?
Um, well, originally I'm from Mississippi, but I was in Waterloo, Iowa, and that's where I'm currently living right now.
Okay, so the story is you spent 19 years in prison for a crime that you didn't commit, and there was a lot of injustices and basically violations of your civil rights or whatever your rights in general that was involved in the way they treated you. So basically, just briefly, kind of tell people like before you went to prison, what was your life like? Did you have a two-parent home, one-parent home, only child? Tell that part first before we jump
Um,
all the way to the story.
Growing up, I was raised by my grandmother. My mom and dad both dibble dabbed in this. Well, I ain't gonna say dibble. Like majority of my whole life, my mom and dad they were into crack cocaine. So when I was 3 years old, my mother caught a drug case when we were staying in Des Moines, Iowa, and she had to do prison time. So my grandmother came and got me and the rest of my siblings. We went back to Mississippi. So that's how I started staying with my grandmother, and she raised me. Um, I grew up in a projects called Joe Preacher Homes, better known as Old Projects in Camp, Mississippi. If you from Atlanta, so I'm pretty sure you in tune with the rapper Boo Razini. He used to go by the name of Boo the Boss Player. Used to be with Young Jeezy with the
Yeah,
USDA. He's from
yeah,
my
yeah.
projects. You know what I mean? From the
Okay.
same projects and everything. So it was Camp, Mississippi is also known as Cracktown. That's what they coined it. But so it was rough growing up there. You know what I'm saying? In those projects, a lot of gang banging, a lot of drug selling, a lot of lot of just negative activity. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I had a lot of relatives. Well, I had an auntie and an uncle that stayed in Waterloo, Iowa. So I wanted to come here and go to school. You know what I mean? Because they have better opportunities. And my grandmother let me come to Iowa to stay with my auntie to go to school. But some ways when you grew up around certain things, it follow you. So
Mhm.
like coming from that environment where it was like, man, you know what I mean? Then you come to a different environment when you like, damn, y'all do things totally different, no structure. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
This is free land. So at first, when it started off, like I was going to school, I was wrestling, football, basketball, doing all of the above. But coming from that broken home, you know how that go when you want the finer things in life and you're attracted to certain things. So you dib and dab with the streets. And that was one of the things that I did. You know what I mean? I dib and dab with it. And a lot of cats that was in those streets, like I said, it was looking like, yeah, man, y'all, you know what I mean? I can go to any neighborhood I want to and post up. That's what type of environment it was. And then the money
Yeah, yeah.
was, it was fast. You know what I'm saying? It was fast.
And
And
that's unusual, and that's very unusual. But go
you,
ahead.
you hear me?
Yeah.
So you coming through there, you seeing that, and you like, whoa. You know what I mean? It's like ain't nobody put a flag in the ground and say this is mine.
Uh,
So it was one of them type of situations to where met some people who were, you know, moving and doing a lot of things, but rapping was always my passion. You know what I'm saying? I started rapping when I was like 11 to 12, basically just talking about my pain and growing up through what I went through. You know what I'm saying? The struggles of my mom and dad both being strung out on drugs and having to be there for my baby sister, and you know what I mean, crying through that pain. So music was my outlet, always has been. So people always knew me to be rapping. Even when I was a young and I'm battle rapping cats that was 20, 22. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding my own. And they like, shorty the truth. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I eventually met some people who were in the other side of the coin in the streets rapping. Somebody brought me to an individual like, hey, this shorty I was telling you about, he rapping. So when I get to rapping and everything, he looked and then he heard certain things that I was saying. So that led into one car ride. And then that led into me on a whole nother journey. You know what I'm
mm,
saying?
mm,
Instead of rapping, I'm rapping too, but at the same time, I'm dibbling and dabbling into the game. You know what I'm saying? And thing was, I was good at it, very good at it. And
mhm,
by me being cut different from a lot of the other cats that was in the Midwest, a lot of jealousy, a lot of hate came with it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of women came with it, a lot of money, everything else. And by me being so young, I was moving at a pace that was just like, man, you got to be 30. Nah, I'm 17. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? It was that type of movement. And
mhm,
so I dropped out of school, ninth grade. My auntie wanted to send me back to Mississippi, but by then I had got a taste of Iowa. I'm not
mhm,
going back down there. Yeah, well, I gotta go back there. It's sweet here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going back. So what I did was I went on the run and stayed with my best friend named Charles. His mom let me live with them in their basement, so I stayed there. And I ended up working a little job at McDonald's. So let's rewind it a little bit. So
mhm,
I ended up working a little job at McDonald's. Then I ended up working at Hy-Vee. I always kept a job. Always. Always about my hustle. Always trying to get a dollar in my pocket. So at the same time, I caught a drug case when I was 16. Somebody ended up setting me up. I caught a drug case when I was 16. I ended up getting a juvie home for that, house arrest. Got out, still working. So them checks at McDonald's wasn't adding up. Them checks at Hy-Vee wasn't adding up.
yeah,
So that's when I had to go back. Like, hey. And he's like, you sure? And I'm, yeah. And I never turned back, man. I'm talking about overnight type of a story that people can vouch for and say like, man, Shorty really, really did that. I'm talking
mhm,
about took a $100 double up and took that mug all the way to the roof. You know what
mm,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
So like I don't brag about it. I don't, toot my own horn about nothing, but what I was doing in the streets and my hustling times is what kept my name alive while I was fighting for my life though. You know
Mhm,
what I'm saying? Like a lot of them shorties that I looked out for and blessed and was there for them on the front line, they continue to say free rich, free rich, free rich. You know what I'm saying? They continue to help me continue to stay focused. Like, yeah. But all right, so now, like I said, when I was working at McDonald's, I took my last check and I went to holler at the man. I bought an 8 ball and I flipped that motherfucker like 10 times, man.
mm,
And I never looked back. And I was off and running. And that led into me coming into being able to be my own man, but at the same time I was still rapping. So it was opportunities coming now because not only was I rapping, but I also had the street cred to back what I was talking about. what I'm saying? So if you're talking about you in the trap house all day, shorty in the trap house all day. You know what I'm saying? You talking about 100 bands before you 18, shorty got 100 bands before you 18. So it was there. And
Yeah,
turned
that had to
19.
be a big deal out there because, like you said, you was in a in the Midwest out there in cornfields and country, and so I know you was
Cornfields.
like the big fish in a small pond. You was
Man,
ghetto fabulous, all of that. You know what I'm saying?
most definitely, most definitely. And the thing is, like, I was holding my own because I raised myself. Basically, I ain't gonna say raised myself because my grandmother gave me a lot of principles and morals in life. You know what I mean? She taught me well. You feel me? May she rest in peace. But so actually taking all of that and maneuvering through those streets, I was 19 at the time. I got involved with an older chick. She was 29. I was 19. Got involved with her. And like anybody else, you know what I mean? She thinking that this is a young dude with some bread and I'm older. I could turn him out. That wasn't the case. Nah, hold my own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the roles reverse. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward, like I said, me still doing what I do, being a player, being in the streets, multiple women, had a lot of women. You know what I mean? That was just me. Go to the
Hmm.
club, everybody getting there showing me love. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? So how can I say it? The police were after me because this is something I found out later on going through the case. But they was just like, we always heard the name, we just never knew who you were. We never knew you were a kid. We thought you were this 30-year-old guy that was coming from Chicago somewhere doing your thing. So it was looking in the wrong places. It was like people was getting pulled over for driving, and next thing you know, they saying Jay Rich, yeah, he the man, he the man, he the man. So my name was just spreading out there. So now the woman that I was involved with, she had a cousin who had did 7 years in prison for a robbery. He did 7 years in prison. So when he came home, um, he was adjusting to society. Now before he left, he had a big brother. His big brother was doing 2 life sentences in the Fed joint for cocaine. He got the kingpin. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
So I'm talking about legendary type. You really hearing it and you seeing it like $6,000 a brick, and you like, nah, that's unbelievable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's what type of movement he was involved in. So
Hmm.
2003, his brother had caught 2 life sentences just from drugs, not a murder, not nothing, just life sentences for drugs. So when he's coming back home and his brother gone, he adjusting, but at the same time, it's like damn, you know what I mean? Before he left, they were
Yeah.
they were up. So he
Hmm.
adjusting. So me, this was at the time my fiance was 29's first cousin. So I'm trying to help him much as I can. You know what I'm saying? Big ups, man. You know what I mean? However I can help you. So we became cool. We were cool. So one day, me and his cousin, who was my fiance, got into an argument. It wasn't even an argument. It was just a disagreement. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Later on that night, this cousin ends up getting killed in a local bar.
Hmm.
And like wildfire. Oh, it was Jay Rich. It was Jay Rich. Jay Rich did it. Hello, what you mean? I ain't do nothing. I was nowhere over there. I ain't even have a problem with him to go and do this. We cool.
Hmm.
Just because of disagreement didn't lead to none of that. You feel what I'm saying? But in this small city, you got a lot of haters, a lot of jealousy. You got the police who been on my ass, who been wanting me anyway. You know what I'm saying? So all it took was one person to say my name. And
Now
this was
this was what year
2006.
was this? This was 2000 and what?
This was 2006. At that
6.
time,
Okay.
I was 19. So this was
Gotcha.
July 2006. July 9th to be exact,
Gotcha.
2006. Um, Shooting happened in a local bar. And like I said, my name was dropped with this situation all because of a disagreement from 8 o'clock in the morning. This
So when you
shooting
say,
happened.
so well, so you saying that the girl your fiance was the one that put you out there, or was somebody else?
No, it was someone at this local bar.
Gotcha. Okay,
Because, okay, let's just say it like this. What's your guy name that run the studio with you?
Jacob.
Jacob.
Yeah.
So if you and Jacob have a disagreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say Kelly works in the studio with you and Jacob, and you and Jacob have a disagreement. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you left the studio, Jacob left the studio, and later on that night, something happened to Jacob. And Kelly
Mm-hmm.
say, well, the only person that he had a disagreement with was, you feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yep. I
So
got you.
so
I'm following you.
Kelly wasn't around Jacob when Jacob stopped at the store. Kelly wasn't around Jacob when he went to his ex-girlfriend house. Kelly wasn't around Jacob when he went to the store and bumped into some old guys probably knew from another life. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Only thing she knew was y'all had a disagreement in the
Disagreement.
studio earlier that morning.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in a small city, 9 times out of 10, people have heard about that disagreement with you and Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I heard y'all was in the studio wilding. Nah, fam, it wasn't even nothing that serious.
Yeah.
But now
Yeah.
all of a sudden, the aerodynamics of the game changed because now Jacob just got shot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now you the number one suspect. Now, because I was popping the way that I was with my music and everything else, I was in the crosshairs and they never said, nah, this ain't adding up because it's the evidence is leading us over here.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's him. It's him. It's him. Let's stay right here. It's him. So that was the narrow minded of this small city, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, that was a guy from Chicago, Illinois, who came to Waterloo, Iowa with the rest of his guys. They were like some Black Pea Stones or whatever. They came through and they had a little run in the drug game. They was doing their thing. No connection to me, no type of nothing. You know what I mean? It was respect. Whenever they see me, I respect. You feel me? So they got raided and 3 of them went fed. One of them
Mm-hmm.
was sitting in the county jail facing fed time. This guy calls this local bar because his girlfriend is in this local bar. He calls his girlfriend from the county jail.
Mm-hmm.
And this baller is calling her and says, let me speak to your brother because I need some soap. I can't even wash my ass. I'm down here. I ain't got no money or whatever. You know what I mean? So she goes give the phone to her brother who's at this bar. So this call started at like 9:01. All right, 6 minutes and 58 seconds or so into the call, while he's talking to her brother, you hear, and this guy says, man, it was Jay Rich. On my mama, Jay Rich just shot this motherfucker up. Jay Rich just shot this bar up. That's all it took.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got this guy who's on this jail phone call, a light bulb go off in his head. Yeah, for real? For real? That's what happened? It was him? I don't think so. No, it was Jay Rich, wasn't it? It was him? It was him? Yeah. See where I'm going now?
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
this stays the course. So then you have people coming through while this guy on the phone. Man, who was that? Who was that? That was Jay Rich. That was Jay Rich. So now this guy calls 911 and he says, yeah, the shooter just left in a purple, burgundy, maroon Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was Jay Rich. That's his name, Jay Rich. Right? Okay. At this time, I drive a blue Monte Carlo. A Monte Carlo is a two-door. I got
Mm-hmm.
rims on my car. It's a two-door. Aurora is a four-door. Get what I'm saying? All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So now you put my name out there. So what this guy does is when the police come, he gives them the fake name.
Mm-hmm.
Fake name, not the real name, not somebody who's saying I'm reporting a crime. Give him a fake name. When the police look around, he leaves. disappears. But he already dropped my name in the situation. So when the police pick up on what they heard first was a burgundy purple maroon Aurora, and they say, "Damn, we know who drive this kind of car." And they go to this house where his car is parked at. Police come out, hot hood, hot muffler. Hey, this car just been drove. It's hot. They tell the people come outside. Nobody come outside. They trying to force them to come outside. They won't come outside. Finally, they get everybody out the house. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of them treating this house like these are the suspects, you know what happened? A
What
detective
happened?
come. A
Mm-hmm.
detective come and he says, Jay Rich ain't at this house. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
leave
yeah.
everything there and you turn. You come
Mm-hmm.
me. I'm in the crosshairs now. It's just
Yeah.
me. It's just me. It's just me. It's just me. So now the same
So
guy who was in.
in other words, they didn't really even question nobody else in that situation. So because they was so dead on getting you for this that they didn't even care about even trying to figure out if somebody else was involved other
There
than
you
you.
go. There you
But yeah,
go.
but go continue.
So now that led to the guy in the county jail. Now this guy, he says, "Hey man, hey, if y'all can help me out with this Fed time that I'm facing, I know something about that shooting that happened at that bar." Oh yeah? Yeah. So they're gonna talk to him. Now he's telling them about this recorded jail phone call. So they get this phone call and they listen to this phone call. And when they listen to this phone call, they know that it's a timestamp on this jail phone call.
Mm-hmm.
So you know exactly what time this shooting happened.
Mm-hmm.
You subpoena my phone records. You subpoena my phone records. You ask for GPS tracking and everything else. You run into a problem. Oh shit. He's on the phone at the time of the shooting. He's pinging off a tower that's miles away from here. If
Mm-hmm.
he was over here, it's 5 towers he would have been pinging off of. He's not pinging off nan one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they call the person who I'm on the phone with, and they say, "Hey, were you on the phone with Jeff Smith, Jay Rich?" "Yeah, I was on the phone with him." You sure?" "I'm positive I was on the phone with him. He's the only person would have been on his phone. Why?" Did he sound normal?" "Yeah, he was normal. He was laughing. He was cool." "Why?" Did you hear anything in the background? Any gunshots? Anything?" "No." "Why?" Uh, Never mind. Never mind. So at that moment, what happened was this person locked me in. It's the alibi.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't say this phone is over here, but he is over here.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is somebody who knew nothing about what was going on.
Yeah, yeah.
So at that time, this is what they do. The shooting doesn't happen at this time. The shooting happens 10 minutes later.
Mm.
Because 10 minutes later, he's not pinging off a tower. And we can put Jeff anywhere we want to put him. So let's put him at the bar doing the shooting.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did.
So let me ask you this. So just to get some clarity, they put the gun in your hand. They don't put it like a thing of you made the call for somebody else to do it. None of that. They put the gun in your hand. Okay, that's I just want that. The reason why I want to get that for clarity because the thing about it is, if you watch any kind of crime show, like true crime show, in most cases when they solve a crime, it's based a lot of it's based off of the towers and them being able to say this person was in this vicinity at this time, and if they can't say that you was there during that time, 9 times out of 10 they're going to be able to say he's not one of our suspects. Well, go ahead.
Now, the part about it is they go as far as coercing witnesses. They go as far as deleting evidence and destroying evidence. Because now that you done came up with this manufactured timeline, Now you got to go and delete other things that left a timeline.
Mm.
So now let's rewind a little bit. So me being 19 and people saying, hey man, they saying that you did this, they saying you did this, man, I ain't do shit. I ain't do nothing. So I called a lawyer who was one of the best in the state of Iowa. I called and I told him, I said, hey, man, people saying this, that, and the third or whatever. So I took a large amount of money
Mm.
and hit him off. So he calls down there and he said, hey, are y'all looking for anybody with the initials of JS? And they said, yeah, we will be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So he said, yeah, you got to come down here. So this is July 10th. This happened July 9th. July 10th. I didn't run to Mexico. I ain't take my money and go and do something else because I didn't do nothing. So I go down here to this county jail with my lawyer to turn myself in.
Mm.
Then run. You didn't have to put a warrant out. You didn't have to come searching for me. Come down to the county jail because I ain't do nothing. Go in. They take me downstairs and they say you're being charged with possession of crack cocaine with the attempt to deliver, violation of the drug tax stamp, and everything else. And your bond will be $150,000. Meaning you need
Mm.
15,000 to bond out. So I'm like, the fuck? What? Where this come from? You know what I'm
So
saying? Like,
they ain't even hit you with the murder charge yet.
no. So
Okay.
they just do this to hold me in there so they can finish manufacturing whatever they're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm there, now what happens is some guys broke into my home, ransacked it and everything, and the police come to this home and leave the door unattended, leave, come back, leave, come back, then get a warrant, then go in. So there's people moving in and out of this apartment. So you find a zero point 0.3 in a baggie and a huge oversized coat that's not mine, and you charge me with attempt to deliver. 0.3, not a gram, not a gram.
Wow.
And you give me $150,000 bond. So when I'm telling my lawyer, like, hey man, it's like, no, because if people are saying that you did something in this small town, then they're gonna come back and get you. So instead of spending that money, you need to hold on to it.
Mm-hmm.
I stay in there. So like a month later, they come charge me with first degree murder.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm glad you said that. It's a comedian. He named Ali Sadiq, and he did like some years. He was from Houston, and he went to prison on like basic kingpin drug charges.
Right.
And his lawyer said the same thing that you said your lawyer said to you. He said basically, I forgot what his bail was. I think his bail was like maybe like a million, a bond was like a million. And he was like, basically, you're gonna have to stay in here because if you put up that bail money and they already thinking that you a kingpin or whatever, then it's gonna look crazy because you don't got no 9 to 5. So where you come up with that
Exactly.
kind of money? So it's gonna
Exactly.
really, so you bet your best bet is to stay into your next court date or hearing and try to get a lower bond or till we can get actually a trial date. So yeah, but
Yep.
go ahead.
So as soon as we put in for this bond reduction, that's when they came and charged me with the murder. Charged me with the murder. So, like I said, in my mind, I'm like, what the hell going on? You know what I mean? I'm 19 at this time, and I'm like, I don't know, I ain't do this. What's going on? It's really messing with me mentally. So, pause everything. I have a conversation with my mom, who's still in Canton, Mississippi, and I said, "What's going on?" She said, "You tell me what's going on. I want to be there for you. I'm coming." And I say, "I'm not going to lie to you. Been in and out of my life since I was a kid. You always been my best friend, though. Like even when I was a kid, yo, I would take my bike, training wheels on it, with my helmet strapped on, and you got a line this long behind me with their hazard lights on. And I'm on my bike going to the trap house to get my
Mm.
mom. You feel me? That's the type of love I had. My brothers and sisters was different. You know, they They judged. I ain't judged. It's still my mama. I don't care
Yeah.
what she doing. That's my black queen. So that's what type of bond we always had. We look just alike. So I tell her, like, you know what I mean, if you really gonna be here for me, be here for me. So I ended up taking some money and moved her up to Iowa from Mississippi, paid 6 months of rent, and baby girl never looked back. Got her a job, and she was there for me 24/7. I'm talking about rain, sleet, hail, or snow. She up at that county jail. And being young, going through that, seeing my life change like that, she was that angel, yo, that just stop frowning. What you
Mhm.
mad for? What you bitter for? That ain't gonna get you out of here. Stop worrying about that girl. Stop worrying about this person. You ain't got no kids. You need to be focused on getting out of here. Put that smile on your face. I'm like, man, you expect me to? I'm going through hell. I was just on top of the world yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm up in here fighting for my life. How
Mhm.
you expect me to be happy? And she just always just put it in my head. Nah, baby, don't be bitter. Don't let these people take that from you. They gonna make you become somebody who you ain't.
Mhm.
So if you saying you didn't do this and you saying you this person, don't let them make you become the monster that they want you to be by taking
Mhm.
your joy, taking your happiness. And now I'm young, but I'm like, man, it's starting to make sense. You right. So every time people see me, like, man, why you smiling? Oh man, I'm blessed, bro. I'm good. How you doing though?
Mhm.
Like, man, he weird, man. He here going through all this stuff and he smiling. He crazy. He this. He nah, I
Mhm.
just ain't gonna let y'all break me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So uh kept fighting. Like I said, my mom was there with me. So I ended up doing a little bit, just like a month under 4 years in the county jail fighting. So I got found guilty
Mhm.
and I went to prison. Filed my appeal, they shot it down. So when they shoot this appeal down, now I have life without the possibility of
Mhm.
parole.
Mhm.
Basically, they saying, yeah, you gonna die in
Yeah.
prison. You never getting
Yeah.
out of here. You'll never be
Mhm.
able to look out your own window. You will never be able to eat your own food. You will never be able to go have kids. You will never be able to do nothing. You're gonna die in here. That's what they
Mhm.
told me. So why do they say, hey, we're still taking you to trial on this drug case? Won't you plea out for 10 years? Plea out for 10 years on this 0.3 that you gave me $150,000 bond on? Why you want me
Mhm.
to plea out on this? You just gave me life without parole, meaning that nothing else matters, bruh. If I get a
Mhm.
time come sheet, it says 0, 0, not an outdate. Why are you still
Mhm.
trying to charge me with this drug case? So now I'm like, y'all railroad me. Y'all did something wrong, something weird. And I gotta figure
Mhm.
this shit out. Because why you still trying to give me 10 years? Because you thinking I'm gonna figure this shit out before then,
Mhm.
but you gonna get some
Mhm.
time out of me and get a conviction so I can't get a civil suit or something or whatever
Yeah.
else the case may be. So this lawyer come through. Her name was Catherine Mahoney, and she's on the drug case pro bono. And she's on the drug case, and I'm explaining all of this to her. Like I'm telling you, no, we didn't. I'm telling you, I didn't.
Mhm.
And she's like, "You're for real?" I'm like, "Yes." So then she started talking to asking me questions about the murder, and I'm like, "I wasn't there. I done not there at all. I didn't do this."
Mhm.
And she believed. So we went in there and we beat the drug case. Not guilty. Or no, it was a hung jury. It was 9-3 hung jury. Nine saying not guilty, three saying guilty. The
Mhm.
prosecutor was so mad, he said, go back in there and figure it out. Okay, they went back in there, came back. It was 8-4. Still my way. Oh,
Mhm.
you gotta go back in there and figure it out again. They came out 7-5. Stop. We're not finna do this. We're not finna do this. By all means, you just want to railroad me completely. These
Mhm.
people are telling you that we don't believe what you're putting down. So finally, the judge intervened and said, man, he's right, man. No, jury, man, we dismissing this without prejudice. You can't charge him with the drug case again. It's over with. So
Mhm.
the same case that you used to put me in there was the same case that was used to open the door to look at the faultiness now. Because the
Mm-hmm.
same lawyer who helped me said, something's not right. I'm going to call my PI, Scott Gracious. She called him and she says, something ain't right here. Because he's telling me not, and I believe him. And he looked at the phone records and he looked at everything else in the trial information and seen that this guy was on the county jail phone. There's a timestamp on there. There's a timestamp on there. Hey, they subpoenaed his phone records with the GPS tracking. And in the affidavit, in the sworn statement to get this warrant for this, he says that I'm getting GPS tracking to find out the location of where Jeffrey Smith was at this time on this day at the time of this shooting. And once you find out I'm not in that vicinity, you're supposed to turn me loose, but you didn't. And this PI and this lawyer found this. And it opened up a whole can of worms. Because you don't do something like this. One person just can't do something like this crooked. It
Mm-hmm.
takes a team to do this. Feel what I'm saying? One
Yep.
man can't just railroad. No, it has to take a team because they did this as a collective.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you keep that in mind. So now they like, why didn't your lawyer see this? Why didn't your lawyer see this? Because the lawyer was convinced that he might be guilty, man. So I'm gonna fight for him. I'm gonna fight my all. And he fought. He fought.
Mm-hmm.
He did depositions though. He still stayed to this day. I believe that my client was Jeff Smith was innocent. He's innocent. Nobody else is gonna tell me nothing different. Then why didn't you
Mm-hmm.
take the time to figure out these records, man? Because I wouldn't have did 19 years if you would have figured out these records. I'm not bitter though. My mama told me I'm gonna be bitter. I ain't mad at you, man. It is what it is. You feel me? So this process now, we found this in 2013. 20 about 2012 we found this
Mm-hmm.
because I caught the case 2006. I left there 2010 going to prison. The appeal was finalized 2012. Then you have to file your post conviction was filed like the end of 2012, 2013. That's when we found the phone records and everything. So from 2013 to 2026 or 2025 we fighting to get back in court. We're fighting now to get back in court, but I'm already supposed to get back in court due to my post conviction relief.
Mm-hmm.
But you have no answer for why these records are changed. You have no reason why you said the shooting happened at 10 minutes later and not the timestamp that happened. You have no explanation for this. You can't explain this unless you throw somebody under the bus. So everybody
Mm-hmm.
is doing this. Oh no, I'm not gonna do it. Oh no, I'm not gonna do it. Hey, we got a court date scheduled. We're supposed to be going to trial. Oh, we're not ready. We're going to continue it. Going to continue it? Damn. Okay. 2 years go by. Oh, yep, we ready. Got a court date. Oh, we're not ready. We're going to continue it. Whoa. Damn. Okay. So finally, right, with this lawyer that I had, Catherine Mahoney, we get ready to go to trial, and she ended up having an accident. And this is through the grace of God because she was not prepared to go up against these crooked individuals, because they were coming through with all type of just frivolous shit that was just didn't make sense. The same evidence that you used to lock people up and get them all this time, now that it's clearing a man of a crime that he didn't commit, you're crying wolf. Oh no, 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 that's junk science. It doesn't work like that. It's down. Nope, nope, nope. It doesn't. What? Are you standing on that? Are you standing on that? Because there's 20 people in the state of Iowa that you use these cell phone records with to incarcerate. Are you standing on that? Oh no, no. Okay, backtrack, back it up then, because I'm gonna think too. So what happened was, by my lawyer hurting herself, the judge declared a mistrial. So we ended up bringing in this other attorney named Thomas Ferrix. He's a goat. He's a goat around these parts. And he come in and he sees this and he says, "Whoa, yeah." And he still looked at me and he says, I'm sorry that they did this to you. I mean, I get it, but it's still not enough. What? He's like, yeah, we got to dig deeper because if they did this, it's something else that they did too. So it took him a total of probably like 2 to 3 years forming his case. So I'm sitting patient, still waiting to go and present my case to a judge. So upon getting this case together, we had this expert named Doug Thornton out of Ohio, and his dude then won Grammys for the soap operas, Days of Our Lives and shit like that. He won soap operas for the music part and things like
Mhm.
that. So he ended up taking this phone call because what happened was on those records it said it was 3 jail phone calls. They only gave us 2, and through those phone calls, we were thinking that they were chopping and screwing something to mix something up to make it sound like what they wanted it to be. So
Mhm.
this guy analyzed these phone calls. Now, this is what happened. Finding these phone calls, the state was saying at first that 911 was called at 9:17. So that's why they said the shooting happened at 9:17. Hear me?
Yeah. Hmm.
Now, when we questioned the guy who was over the jail phone call system, and we said, hey, was this jail phone call system off by 10 minutes or could it be off? He said, no, I checked this jail phone system. It's digitally it's accurate. You know, like how NASA is when
Hmm.
it's accurate to the centimeter. It's accurate. And that's what he's saying. So
Well,
you
look,
can't say that the jail phone calls.
before you keep going, this is what I want to do because I could tell the story got a lot of layers to it, left to it. So what I want to do, I want to do a part two. I don't know if you're
Yes, sir.
available tomorrow night
I'll
or
be
the next
available.
couple of days. So I want to do a part two of this tomorrow night because I really want to get this whole story out, or whatever, and I really want you to be able to really tell your story the
For
right
sure.
way and to get it all the way out. You know what I mean? So uh, I'm just gonna say before we leave, this is powered by InspireRadio.com, 810 Studios, Roku channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at 95 South Network. Um, but I definitely want to. Hopefully, my partner he'll be on tomorrow with us to be able to kind of go through this with us or whatever. Because I really want you to tell your story because it's funny because I'm a big true crime person. I watch like Fatal Attraction in
Right.
2020 and 48 Hours. So
Yeah.
your story, I'm thinking about, dang, he need to do a movie. He need to do a documentary. Like, and I'm thinking about
Yeah.
those shows when they do the shows on those and on and injustices and stuff. And it's like, dang, some of these people need to be picking this up to be able to help him tell the story. Because I've seen people in your same situation who was in your same boat, looking at life with no parole and got their stuff overturned or whatever off of technicalities and basically crooked cops and crooked systems. And
Right.
so your story is such a big story that needs to be told that I don't want to cut it short and be like, well, we 2 minutes
For
left
sure.
and then you got it, then you kind of stuck not
For
telling the
sure.
whole thing. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
what we're gonna do, we're gonna end it right now or whatever, and then we're gonna do a part two tomorrow night and then we're gonna put it all together
Absolutely.
and I'm gonna send it over to the radio and to our places that we send it for people to be able to hear the whole and see the whole story and hear the whole story at one time.
For
You
sure.
know what I'm saying, or whatever. So
For sure.
that's the way we're gonna do that. So, but I appreciate you coming on tonight. Um, like I said, same time tomorrow, same time, same bat station, and I'm gonna send
I'm
you a
ready.
new link for us to get on tomorrow night, and we're gonna do this thing so you can tell this whole
For
story.
sure.
So kind of remember where you stopped.
I remember. I stopped at Doug Thornton. This is the guy who did the
Okay.
phone records and went through everything. So I'll be able to pick it up from there because it's interesting. That part right there is what really cemented everything and blew everything else out the water to where it was. We ain't trying to hear nothing that y'all said, man. Y'all caught red-handed now.
Yeah,
So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir. So
yeah.
yeah,
So
so we definitely gonna get back into it tomorrow night. So I appreciate you coming on. And like I
for
said,
sure.
man, see you tomorrow night, brother.
Already, man. Take it
All right.
easy.
You too.
Yup. Yup.
brown skinned girl, and she knew I was out to go and clear my mind.